Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for being here tonight. And before we start, I'd like to ask you a quick question. How many of you here have a pet? A dog, cat, or even a spider? And if you do, have you ever had to book a vet appointments, grooming sessions, or puppy training for your pets? And if you have, you probably know it's not always easy. You end up checking different websites, clicking the reviews, or calling the clinics, and then they start thinking, wait, when was the next vaccination again? And that was something really stood out to us. Pets are such an important part of our lives, but the way we manage pet care still feels messy and outdated. For pet owners, it can be hard to find trusted providers, know where to book, and keep track of recurring care such as grooming sessions and so on. And for providers, many still rely on phone calls, social media messages, or even menu booking systems, which means more admin, missed bookings, or less visibility to new customers. So really, both sides are dealing with a process that feels more complicated than it should be. That's why this idea connected us so quickly as a team. By the way, I'm Sylvia. I worked as a digital coordinator before, and I'm also a pet owner. I have a cat named the Wi-Fi and a dog named the Life. Yeah, I know they are cute names. And I worked on the front end for HotDog. So before I go on, we'd love to quickly introduce ourselves.
Hi everyone, I'm Carla. I used to work in human resources and I'm now working as the project manager and backend developer of HotDog.
I'm Grass and I used to work as a graphic designer and I worked as a UI and UX as well as front end for HotDog.
Hi everyone, I'm Crystal. I'm a former business consultant and now I'm a front-end / full stack developer at HotDog. I'm also an owner of a very cheeky toy poodle named Nugget. Hi everyone, my name is Emily. I used to be an osteopath and now I'm the backend developer and responsible for authentication. I have a toddler retriever named Butters and a ragdoll cat named Snom. Like the Pokemon.
Hello everyone, I'm Dana. I used to be an accountant and now I'm a backend developer responsible for deployment at HotDog.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley. I used to be a pharmacist. Now I'm a backend and testing engineer at HotDog. I'm also a dog mum. I've got a border collie named Buddy.
Thank you, girls. Now that you have met the team, let me take you back to where the idea started. So, we were inspired by the comparison with human healthcare. For people, platforms like HotDog makes booking appointments so easy and normal. You search, book, and manage everything in only one single place. So, we ask ourselves, what if managing pet care could be as simple as booking a doctor? And that also became the starting point of HotDog. So next, I'll hand over to our teammates to show you what we have built.
Thanks, Sylvia. We'd like to introduce HotDog. HotDog is designed to make caring for your pet simple and stress-free. Instead of juggling different apps, websites, or phone calls, everything is organized on a single platform, giving pet owners confidence that nothing has been forgotten. With an easy-to-use interface, pet owners can manage their pet's health and book services like pet visits, grooming, and training all in one place. This makes it easier for owners to stay on top of their pet's care. It supports healthier and active animals while giving owners more quality time to enjoy. HotDog is a full-stack web application that connects pet owners with trusted providers through a seamless booking system. Some of the key features include secure authentication, role-based access, a centralized booking system, a user dashboard, and a provider dashboard. HotDog is designed to make caring for your pet simple and stress-free. To bring this to life, we'll now go through a short demo of HotDog. I'll be demonstrating from Dr. Alice, who is a veterinarian at Paws and Claws Veterinary Clinic.
and I'll be demoing from the user's perspective as none other than Bad Bunny. So to set the scene, as you may know, I've had a super busy couple of months performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. I've won a couple of Grammys, and now I'm finally have some time to just catch up on life. So I recently adopted a new dog named Peanut, and I need to take him to the vet for the first time. I'm not too sure yet which vet I'll take him to, but I know just the site to find one. So let's check it out. So first, I'll log into my account on the HotDog website. And here on the user dashboard, you can see my upcoming appointments for my pets, Butters and Snom. But for now, let's just focus on Peanut. So I'll go ahead and click Add Pets and enter Peanut's details. There's the dog, and he is a gorgeous Bulldog Cross Staffy. Now, when I adopted Peanut for the first time, I noticed that he had these really red rashes on his paws. So I want to go ahead and add that to the notes so that we can get that checked with the vet. Just go ahead and hit submit. And now you can see Peanut's profile's been made, including the notes that I just added. But I did mention he was a Bulldog Staffy, so let's go fix that. And we'll change his breed to mixed, click save. And now that's been updated. So let's go find a vet. So if we click on the drop down bar, let's have a look first at all of the services. And what if we filter by vets? Okay, so this one's looking pretty good. It's got an average 5-star rating and it looks like it's open tomorrow. So let's go to book now, and I'll go ahead and make an appointment for tomorrow, the 27th of March at 9:30 a.m. Cool, so we'll select a pet for Peanut and a vet consultation, please. Awesome, that was easy enough. So now let's go to the appointments page, and here you can see Peanut's appointment's been booked in with Paws and Claws. So while we're here, on second thought, let's just go ahead and cancel Butters' grooming appointment. I think he's looking pretty clean. And now that's been cancelled. So I just want to double check that Peanut's appointment's gone through. So I'll log into my emails, and sure enough, there is my email confirmation from Paws and Claws.
Now let's take a look as the provider, Alice. So we're just going to pop in Alice's email and then pop in her password. Great, we've all logged in. So I can see Bad Bunny has popped an appointment in for Peanut on the 27th tomorrow morning. So I'm going to take a look at Peanut's details. So I'm just going to have a look at the patients and search Peanut up via the search bar. And here I can see Peanut's details. So I can see the user notes, I can see he was adopted last week, and I can also see medical notes, which he doesn't have yet. So post-appointment, ironically, you'll never guess, Peanut has an allergy to peanuts. So that's caused the rashes. So I'm going to pop in the medical notes there and then save the details. Now I can see here, looking at the patients, that the medical notes has been updated. So I'm going to book a follow-up appointment. So creating an appointment, I am going to search the owner. So I'm popping in Bad Bunny's details here, his email address. And once I click search, I can see that Bad Bunny has popped up as the owner. So let's select Peanut as the pet. And our follow-up appointment is for a vaccination. So let's book him in for Thursday, the 2nd at 11:30. Perfect, let's book him in. Bad Bunny has also confirmed his appointment here. And then now let's take a look at our account. So looking at our business details, we can change our password, and then we can take a preview of what our business page looks like.
So Peanut had a wonderful time at the vet, and I really want to show my appreciation to Dr. Alice. So I'm going to go ahead and add a 5-star review on her page. So I'll add in my comments, Dr. Alice is simply the best. Peanut's allergies have completely cleared up after seeing the team at Paws and Claws. Highly recommend. So I'll go ahead and submit that review. And now everyone, including Dr. Alice and her team, can see her review. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Crystal. Now I'll run you through the key app features for the user. And as you can see, got a photo of Bad Bunny with his dog. So first, we've got multiple pet management. So you can add as many profiles for each one of your pets. Intelligent search, you can filter based on the services that each provider offers to help save you time. We'll send you a confirmation email shortly after booking, so you never have to miss another appointment. Reviews and ratings, which can only be left by verified users after the provider has marked the appointment as complete to build trust and reliability. And lastly, appointment scheduling. Our user-friendly interface makes it very easy to book local appointments with vets, groomers, and walkers in your area. Moving on to the key app features for the provider. A dynamic dashboard. We know that clinics are very busy environments, so it's important that they have a quick snapshot of their day the moment they log in. Manage appointments. Providers can reschedule appointments as well as cancellations to fit their clients' needs. Medical notes. So before a pet even walks through the door, the provider will have access to the pet's age, weight, and breed, as well as any user notes, all in one centralized location. And smart slot availability. So our backend will dynamically calculate the available timeframes so that clients can only book the valid time slots that are available to prevent double booking. Now I'll hand over to Grass for the design prep.
Before we developed the wireframe, the first step we took was outlining all possible user flows to understand how the user would move through the platform. These scenarios were based on must-have and should-have components. They included steps such as creating a pet profile, searching for services, as well as booking appointments. The initial interface was created in Adobe Illustrator, so we have the low-fidelity wireframe, which is the one in the mock-up. At this stage, the focus was mainly on the layout, navigation structure, and making sure important components were featured. Creating wireframes early helped make sure no key features were missed before moving on to the high-fidelity design. One thing that struck out to us during the making of HotDog was that we saw it as a service the HotDog company would offer alongside their healthcare service. Thus, it felt natural to reference the UI and UX branding into our own identity. And at the same time, we wanted the platform to have its own personality. To achieve this, we chose strong and vibrant colors, so yellow and navy. Yellow represents warmth and friendliness, with navy reflecting trust and reliability, which are words usually described for pets. Developing our high-level wireframe also provided the team with a design guide, ensuring that all pages would be consistent, as well as all developers would be able to work on the front end. And now Emily will cover the technology stack.
Thank you, Grass. Now, I'll quickly run you through what we use as tools to develop the app to make it possible. Firstly, in the front end, we use React to build the user interface. So everything the user interacts with, such as the login, the dashboard, and all the buttons they click. And we use Feet as our development tool to build and run the app quickly during development. As for styling, we use Bootstrap to create a more responsive design so that our app works across all different screen sizes. And we use React Router for navigation. So what that means is that when the user navigates between those pages, it works without ever needing to reload the app. As for the backend, we use Python with Flask to build our API. And actually, this is where all the logic and decision making happens. And Flask is used for routing. So what that means is that it decides what happens when a request comes in, but also handles authentication and validation as well. As for the database, we use SQLite to store all the data as you've seen for users, providers, bookings, and pets. And we chose to go with SQLite because it is lightweight and easy to set up. So it allowed us to focus more on building those features out. And because we use SQL Alchemy here, it will be really easy to switch to a more scalable database such as PostgreSQL within a production environment. If anyone wants to give us money and invest in our product, we'd be more than happy to continue development. Now, for other dev tools, we use Postman to test all of our endpoints during development to make sure they're all working before integrating with the front end. And lastly, we use Render to deploy our app. Now, I'll quickly also walk you through how the system works using a real example. As you've seen, Bad Bunny wants to make an appointment for his dog Peanut, which he recently adopted. And so when Bad Bunny first logs into the app, we'll make sure that his email is already in the system and verify his password against a securely hashed version stored in the database. Once verified, the backend will actually generate what's called a JWT or DROT token. And this token will contain a user ID and role, either being a user or a provider, and in this case is a user. And it will act as a digital identity for all future requests that he will be making. So to put it in context, it's like when you go to a bar and the bouncer needs to check your ID to make sure that your face matches the photo on the card and that you're of a certain age and that your ID is real. Now, when Bad Bunny goes to make a appointment request, this request will then be sent to the backend along with this token. And Flask will actually authenticate it by verifying its signature and checking it hasn't expired. If it is invalid for whatever reason, it will be rejected. But if it is looking all good, then this request will go through and SQL Alchemy will do its magic and talk to the database. In this case, is SQLite. And here we create the appointment and it is stored. Finally, the backend will actually generate a response to be sent back to the front end to show Bad Bunny that his booking was successful. As you can see, Bad Bunny is super stoked and happy that it went through. So I'll pass it on to Dana to walk you through development pipelines and deployment.
Thanks, Emily. To keep our app stable, we follow a structured workflow when adding new features or fixing bugs. So first, we all work in feature branches so our changes don't affect the main code base. We also follow clear commit conventions to keep our code history readable and easy to understand. When we're done with the changes, we create a pull request so that our team can review and stay aligned. At the same time, we run the automated checks using GitHub Actions to make sure that our changes don't break any existing functionality. Finally, when everything is reviewed and all the tests pass, we merge our changes to the main code base and they are ready for deployment. So how HotDog goes live? To make HotDog available online, we used Render to host both front-end and back-end services. Starting with deployment process, we connect our GitHub repository to Render. And from there, whenever new code is added to the main code base, Render will automatically detect those changes, build the application, and run the latest version online. And once HotDog goes live, this is how the application flow works. So user open the front-end link, front-end send request to the back-end API, back-end processes the request, interacts with the database, and then send the result back to the front-end, which is the user interface for user to see. I'm gonna pass on to Crystal and Ash to go through the making of HotDog.
Thanks, Dana. So, it's no secret that most great ideas start with simple problems. And for us, well, we had thought of quite a few. So we started with a brainstorming phase where we explored different ideas based on real-world challenges that we had faced. From the very beginning, we wanted to build something that was practical and personal to us. And so we each pitched our own ideas, and as a team, we evaluated and voted on the one that resonated the most, taking into consideration factors such as user impact, feasibility, and overall value. And that ultimately led us to HotDog. So once our idea was solidified, we then moved on to conducting research. We explored the current market landscape, I guess comparing existing solutions and competitors, but more importantly, trying to understand the various user pain points. From there, we developed user stories, which helped guide our features and functionalities that we wanted HotDog to include. So after identifying what seemed like an overwhelmingly long list of potential features, we then used the Moscow framework to prioritize them, grouping each feature into must-haves, should-haves, could-haves, and won't-haves. By doing this, it allowed us to focus on building a really strong MVP and ensured that we delivered on the most essential features first.
Next, we moved into our UX UI design. As you saw before, our designs became the foundation of both our back-end and front-end development. They served as a reference point for how we wanted the app to look, feel, and function. This stage required a lot of communication and compromise as we balanced functionality with the visual design. Next, we moved into execution and development. So we allocated roles to each team member based on our strengths and interests to help keep us all engaged. We use tools like Notion, Miro, Slack, and Discord for our project management and communication. And we use the Agile methodology to help us manage the sprint planning, as well as using a calendar and roadmap in Notion. Due to our different schedules, we decided to hold stand-ups 3 times a week, where we got together to share our progress, as well as address any blockers. Lastly, we continuously tested and refined our application as we went along. We got together to review what was working well and what needed improvement. And bug fixing became part of our daily workflow for every one of us. And this is what helped us to steadily improve the overall quality of the app. I'll now hand over to Carla for the lessons and challenges.
During development, we ran into a few challenges that really shaped how our team worked together. So one of the main technical challenges was not having access to Real Services API. So instead of blocking progress, we created our own seeded and dummy data to simulate real-life providers and real-life bookings. This allowed us to keep building and testing as if the system were live. Working in a team of 7 also came with its own challenges, especially around scheduling. Everyone had different availabilities, so we had to be really intentional with the way we communicated. Towards the end of the project, things got a bit more intense. We started running into a lot of bugs, and fixing one bug would often then create another. That's when we realized we needed more structure, so we introduced pull request reviews before merging. That small change made a big difference in keeping things stable. Throughout this project, one of the biggest things we learned was how everything really connects in a full stack application. A lot of the times when something broke, it wasn't just in one place. We then had to trace it across the front end, back end, and the database. That's what helped it really clicked for us, because we weren't just building features, we were understanding how the whole system works together. At the same time, working in a team made us realize pretty quickly that code structure and communication was just important as the code itself. When things weren't clear or organized, it would immediately cause issues for someone else, especially because we were all working on different parts of the project. We also got a lot more comfortable with problem solving and debugging. There were definitely moments where things didn't work out the way we expected, but working through those challenges helped us become more confident in figuring things out and understanding why something was breaking, not just how to fix it.
So the next step for HotDog is creating a mobile app version, which will be more convenient, but also means that users will be able to manage their, appointments, as well as they can receive the reminders via the app. And then the second one would be interactive location maps. So at the moment, users are unable to find providers based on their location, which also means that we might be losing potential users. And then the third one would be AI booking assistance. So implementing an AI assistant that will help pet owners select the most appropriate service for their pets. By asking simple questions about the pet's needs, symptoms, the AI can recommend the best appointment type.
Thank you so much for listening and for joining our demo today.
Thank you.